Hey Cowboys Nation, we are diving headfirst into the latest updates surrounding America's team. And there is a lot to unpack as we head into this high-stakes clash with the Vikings. The intensity in practice has been palpable this week, with players pushing through injuries and testing their limits in preparation for what promises to be a hard-fought matchup. Tyler Geaton was notably absent during Wednesday's session due to an ankle concern, which has raised questions about his readiness. Offensive linemen carrying high ankle sprains often face a slow recovery timeline, typically requiring multiple weeks of careful rehab. And without seeing him in a limited capacity on Thursday, the likelihood of his game day availability appears low. This situation inevitably puts added pressure on the backups along the offensive front, demanding precise execution from Nate Thomas and others to maintain protection for the quarterback, while keeping running lanes open against the Vikings' defensive line that has been increasingly disruptive. The depth and cohesion of the line will be essential, and every snap counts when facing a defense capable of complex blitzes and aggressive schemes. Meanwhile, the team's wide receiver core received some encouraging news. CeeDee Lamb has been progressing steadily through the concussion protocol, participating in practice in a limited capacity. Reports suggest he is moving through the fourth stage of recovery, with only 1 or 2 steps remaining before full clearance, which is a major positive for the Cowboys' offense. Lamb's presence on the field has been transformative this season, as his ability to stretch defenses, create separation, and consistently produce big plays ranks him among the top targets in the league. His explosive performance prior to the injury, particularly against the Lions, highlighted just how crucial he is to the offensive scheme. Should he be cleared in time, his impact against the Vikings could be a deciding factor. And even if there is some limitation in his early snaps, having him available offers the coaching staff more flexibility in play calling and opens up opportunities for the rest of the receiving corps, including George Pickens and potentially Ryan Fanoy. Jalen Tolbert may also see adjustments in his role depending on how the snaps are allocated, emphasizing the interconnected nature of the offense and the importance of having key weapons healthy and integrated. On the defensive side, Jadeveon Clowney has been navigating a hamstring issue, but showed encouraging signs during practice. Participating in a limited capacity, limited sessions midweek often suggest a strong chance of clearance by game day. And Clowney's presence on the defensive line is a game changer. He contributes not only as a pass-rushing threat, but also in run defense, helping anchor the front and setting the tone for the rest of the unit, facing a Vikings offensive line that has been regaining health and building momentum. Having Clowney closer to full strength could create mismatches and pressure opportunities that shift the dynamics of the game. Hamstring injuries can be unpredictable, but the trajectory of his recovery this week points to the possibility of seeing him actively contributing, which would be a significant boost for the Cowboys' front seven alongside Clowney. Trevon Diggs is another critical piece being carefully managed. While he feels ready to participate, there is a deliberate ramp-up period in place. This is not just about conditioning. It's about mental preparedness, understanding adjustments made in his absence, and sensing with new teammates within the defensive huddle. Diggs' situation is particularly nuanced as it represents his final season with the team, adding layers of pressure and attention to his integration back into game scenarios. The coaching staff's measured approach ensures that he is fully prepared to perform at a high level while minimizing risk. And fans will be watching closely to see how he responds in practice as the week progresses. Several other players also drew attention during Wednesday's session. Lee Hooker did not participate for personal reasons, though he has been dealing with a minor toe injury, which has raised questions about his immediate availability. The expectation is that he may return in time for Thursday's practice, allowing him to contribute meaningfully on Sunday. Jake Ferguson and Hunter Lipke were limited in practice, likely due to fatigue and minor strains after a compact stretch of 3 games in 11 days. This type of limitation is common during high-intensity periods and rarely signals long-term concern, unless additional setbacks occur. Savoni Revel also participated in a limited manner, managing a knee concern, which requires careful monitoring to ensure he can perform effectively without aggravating the injury. Overall, the Cowboys' injury picture is a mix of caution and optimism, with several key players trending toward full participation, giving the team a chance to field a competitive roster against a Vikings squad that has recently found its rhythm on offense. The interplay between the offensive and defensive updates highlights the balancing act the Cowboys are managing this week. CeeDee Lamb's potential return has the offense excited, as his route running and big play ability directly influence the timing and spacing of the passing game. Similarly, defensive leaders like Clowney and Diggs are central to maintaining stability and pressure, particularly as the Vikings' offense presents multiple challenges that demand attention to alignment, gap integrity, and coverage responsibilities. Each practice rep, whether full or limited, is evaluated in detail to determine readiness, and the coaching staff is strategically navigating recovery timelines to ensure that players are contributing at their peak without risking setbacks. This careful orchestration of health, preparation, and timing demonstrates the team's commitment to maximizing the potential of its roster while approaching a critical contest with calculated precision. As practice progresses, attention to detail remains paramount. Tyler Jeaton's limited or absent participation emphasizes the importance of backups stepping up, while Lamb's stage for recovery represents a potential turning point for the offense. Clowney's limited involvement signals progress that could bolster the defensive front, and Diggs' measured ramp-up reflects a focus on mental and physical readiness as he reintegrates into the secondary. The coaching staff is monitoring each player closely, balancing the need for on-field preparation with careful management of injuries. The interconnected nature of each player's status underscores the complexity of fielding a team at full strength, where even minor adjustments can ripple through offensive and defensive schemes alike. With the Vikings looming, every practice rep carries significance. The Cowboys are not just managing injuries, they are orchestrating timing, communication, and chemistry across the roster. Offensive execution depends on the health and availability of key targets, like Lamb, and the cohesion of the line, while defensive effectiveness hinges on the integration of Clowney, Diggs, and rotational contributors who are stepping into larger roles. Observing these practice sessions offers fans insight into the team's approach, showing how recovery, preparation, and tactical deployment are intertwined as the Cowboys prepare to execute against the versatile and improving Vikings offense. Every decision made in practice and every limitation accounted for is a piece of the larger puzzle, aiming to create a balanced and competitive performance when game day arrives. Continuing with the latest updates from America's team, the Cowboys are navigating a critical stretch of the season, balancing recovery, preparation, and tactical adjustments as they approach the clash with the Vikings. CeeDee Lamb's progress through the concussion protocol remains a central storyline. Even with limited participation in practice, his presence signals forward momentum for the offense, as his ability to create separation and stretch the field is unparalleled. Lamb's timing with the quarterback, route adjustments, and ability to read defensive coverages all contribute to the offensive efficiency that has made him such a vital piece of the team this season. The coaching staff is carefully managing his workload, ensuring he is fully integrated into game scenarios without risking a setback. Each snap he takes in practice, each route completed, is a calculated step toward full game readiness. And for fans, watching Lamb return to form has been both thrilling and crucial for understanding the team's offensive potential against the Vikings. Defensively, Jadeveon Clowney's progression is equally important. His limited practice sessions reflect a methodical approach to hamstring management, and the team is monitoring his responses closely. Clowney's ability to pressure the quarterback and disrupt run lanes has consistently provided the Cowboys with an edge, and his reintegration into the lineup could swing the balance of the defensive front. Facing a Vikings offensive line that is regaining cohesion and performance, having Clowney closer to full health offers strategic advantages, including flexibility in defensive play calling and rotation. Even in a limited capacity, his impact on the field is measurable, and the coaching staff is evaluating every rep to gauge his timing, explosiveness, and effectiveness in real game situations. Alongside Clowney, the development of other defensive contributors like Trevon Diggs is under intense scrutiny. Diggs' careful ramp-up is not merely about physical readiness, it also encompasses mental sharpness, understanding adjustments made during his absence, and sensing with new teammates in the defensive schemes. His presence, when fully cleared, will provide a significant boost to the secondary and overall pass defense, which is vital when facing a Vikings team that has been improving steadily in offensive execution. The offensive line remains a focal point, particularly with Tyler Jeaton's status uncertain. High ankle sprains are challenging injuries for linemen, requiring both patience and precise rehab to prevent long-term issues. Jeaton's absence in Wednesday's practice highlights the importance of depth and versatility along the line, as backups like Nate Thomas must be prepared to handle critical situations against the defense. Capable of complex blitzes and heavy pressure, the offensive rhythm depends on cohesive line play. And any disruption can affect both the passing and running games. Monitoring player performance, communication, and cohesion is a priority for the coaching staff as they navigate the final practices. Leading up to the game, each player's readiness influences the effectiveness of the offense. And with multiple contributors managing injuries, the balance between preparation and caution is delicate but necessary. Jake Ferguson and Hunter Lipke were limited during practice, dealing with fatigue and minor strains after an intense period of 3 games in 11 days. These limitations, while noteworthy, are typical in high-contact sports during a condensed schedule. The team is managing their workloads carefully to ensure they are available for game day without exacerbating existing conditions. Similarly, Savoni Revel continues to work through a knee concern while participating in a controlled manner. The coaching staff's approach reflects an understanding of the physical demands of each role, ensuring that players are contributing effectively while minimizing risk. Every practice session, every snap, is an opportunity to evaluate readiness, assess performance, and make adjustments that will affect Sunday's game plan. Looking at the broader picture, the Cowboys are orchestrating a delicate balance between offense and defense, integrating returning players while ensuring that backups are prepared to step up if needed. CeeDee Lamb's limited participation, Clowney's hamstring management, Diggs' measured ramp up, and the status of offensive line contributors like Geaton all intersect to define the team's strategic approach. The coaching staff must coordinate timing, rotation, and deployment of key assets, taking into account each player's physical condition and mental readiness. This week, practice is more than preparation. It is a careful examination of the roster's capabilities, strengths, and vulnerabilities, shaping the game plan for a Vikings team that has demonstrated growth and adaptability in recent weeks. The integration of returning players also influences in-game decision-making. For instance, Lamb's potential return opens up passing windows, alters defensive coverage priorities, and affects how other receivers are utilized. Clowney's presence can dictate the flow of the defensive front, forcing opposing quarterbacks to adjust pre-snap reads and potentially disrupting rhythm. Diggs' readiness impacts secondary coverage and communication, particularly in high-pressure situations where timing and anticipation are key. Each player's health and participation directly influence strategic options, from play calling to rotation management. Understanding these dynamics provides fans with insight into the complexity behind every snap, revealing how interconnected individual performances are with overall team execution. Before we roll on, subscribe to Cowboys Wire News, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Your support keeps the Dallas Cowboys updates coming. Tell us what you think in the comments. The locker room corridors were still buzzing late last night after a surprising comment from AMARI Cooper set a wave of speculation across the league. Speaking casually to a small circle of teammates and staff, Cooper reportedly described his original signing with the Dallas Cowboys as a true honor, a phrase that instantly ignited whispers about what he really meant and why he chose this moment to say it. According to people who were nearby, the star receiver didn't raise his voice or stand on any podium. It was an offhand remark, almost tossed into the air, but it carried the weight of something deeper. Some who overheard it swear his tone hinted at nostalgia, while others insist it sounded like appreciation, wrapped in reflection, as if he were mentally revisiting a chapter of his career that still defines him. The timing alone has fueled enough chatter to keep analysts busy. Cooper rarely opens up about past moves, especially those tied to the Cowboys, an organization that shaped a key stretch of his professional path. So why say it now? Is it a signal of renewed ties, a note of gratitude, or simply a moment of honesty in a league where players often guard every word within minutes? Social media had already turned his remark into a trending mystery. Former teammates chimed in with cryptic emojis. A few rival players posted thinly veiled reactions, stoking theories that something bigger could be brewing behind the scenes. Even some front office insiders, usually tight-lipped, were caught exchanging curious glances as the rumor mill spun out of control. Some believe the comment points to unfinished business. Others think it's nothing more than a veteran reflecting on a milestone in his career. But one thing is certain: Cooper's quiet statement has managed to stir louder conversation than any press conference could have. That's a wrap from Cowboys Wire News. For breaking Cowboys updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Tell us your take in the comments.